I believe that becoming a self-made millionaire is not only possible, but it is actually probable for anyone in the United States that focuses on it. Will it be easy? No. But again, it's possible and probable. What we're going to do here is highlight 10 get rich habits of self-made millionaires. We're actually going to review an article on CNBC written by the Financial Samurai. He gives us 4. Then we're going to list 3 more each for a total of 10. Anna, both you and I are self-made millionaires, starting from nothing, in some cases less than nothing. And I think it's fair to say that you believe also that it is not only possible, but probable if people focus on it. Is that fair?
It is fair. Yep. Absolutely. There's a formula. So figure out a formula, do the things that will get you there, and you'll succeed.
Awesome. So we're going to give you 10 habits of self-made millionaires, not only our habits, but habits we see in other successful self-made millionaires. But again, we will start with the 4 from the Financial Samurai. Number 1, consistent saving and investing. What do you think of that one?
Absolutely. You can't grow your wealth from nothing unless you save money and have it to invest in something that's going to create you a return, either upside that you can then use to invest and grow your net worth, or cash flow that you can then invest and grow your income. And so both of those things need some savings. They need discipline of setting a certain amount aside, and then investing. I would just add that you must save, primarily invest, and invest in things that are going to generate a consistent, safe, stable return.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, folks, my 3-step wealth formula, step 1 is you got to create disposable income.
Yes.
Again, or discretionary income, whatever you want to call it. The whole idea is those become seeds that get planted in assets, and then those assets grow over time. Also, inflation is a feature, not a bug. And once you understand that, you invest like that. And I agree, that's where it begins. Here is number 2. And without leading the witness, I'm not sure I agree with it, but I will go with his number 2. Building multiple streams of income. What do you think about that one?
I agree with it over time. I think that it is very important when you're starting out to really focus, right? Because too many people start out trying to do too many things, and they never get really efficient and proficient at the one thing. And so there is power in focus. With that said, over time, as you grow and you have systems in place and you're really good at your one stream of income, then it's hard to grow wealthy if you're just in that one stream and you're not, having that discretionary income. So adding something else. So for you and I, we had our full-time job. That was one stream of income. And then we added investing in real estate as our second stream. And so it took us time to live on that first stream of income while we built the second with that excess savings. Then it became 2 streams of income till we let the first one go. So I agree with it, but I think it has to be over time. And some people get too hung up on doing too much at once. I'm going to have a YouTube business, and I'm going to sell stuff on eBay or Etsy, and then I'm going to do real estate, and I'm going to have my job. You're so scattered and get burnt out, and you never really get good at that one thing.
Yeah, that's really where, and again, as you kind of highlight this, I'm less disagreement, because you're absolutely right. We had a W-2 job, and then we did rentals, and then we did other things down the line. So you're absolutely right. So I feel less against this one, but I just see so many people repeat a version of the following quote: millionaires have 7 streams of income, and I only have 2. I need 7. All millionaires. No, every self-made millionaire I know, every single one, became a millionaire in 1. And yes, they probably have 5, 6, 7, maybe 10, 12 streams now, but they only added the streams once they became a millionaire, in my opinion.
Yes. And I think the other thing you have to be careful of is thinking that 7 streams of income mean you've got 7 active businesses, right? Yeah. One of those streams might be you're invested in dividend paying stocks. Like, that's an income, right? Yep. The second might mean you have money in a CD. It's paying interest income. So there are passive investments that are considered a stream of income, but they're not. Most millionaires I know don't have 7 active businesses. You'd go nuts. And in fact, I kind of bought in for a while, like, hey, I can do more with my time. I need to grow this business and this business. And I had multiple businesses, and I have shut a couple of those down just because my time is so valuable to me. So we want to get rich on paper, right? You want to become a millionaire, but once you have that and you have your needs met, you don't necessarily want to or have to continue to build more businesses just to have more. The time suck from many, many businesses can create a lot of lack of freedom, those golden handcuffs to your own businesses instead of the job, and not, give you peace, right? You have too much stress, too many things going on. So just be careful trying to do too much, but invest in as many things as you can, coming back to the save and invest piece.
Very cool. So number 3, again, from the Financial Samurai, is thinking in terms of opportunity cost. What do you think of that?
I think I'll say yes and no, right? It is very important anytime you're doing anything with your time and with your money to think, is this the best use of my time? And is this the best use of my money? And so from that standpoint, yes, it's very important to think of opportunity cost, because let's just say, real estate, let's say a commercial real estate property versus putting my money in a treasury, right? So we talk about risk for return. If a risk-free rate of return is supposed to be park my money in the US Treasury, let's call it 4. Well, why would I buy an apartment building that takes my time and my money if it's at a 4 cap and it's also going to pay me 4? It's like, it doesn't make sense. Now, if that real estate building's going to pay me 10 and I could be choosing the 4, I'm going to say putting my money in at 4%, it has an opportunity cost of 6%, because I could be putting it in an apartment building. So that opportunity cost, and the same with your time. If I can make somebody real smart, one of my mentors said, don't step over dollars to collect pennies. Yes. And what he meant by that was, you're already making $2,000 an hour is what I was basically averaging, that I figured out on my multifamily syndication. So it's like, why would I do a course that I charge somebody $100 for when it took 10 hours of my time, when the value of my time was so much greater? And so that kind of opportunity cost thinking is really important, because you want to maximize the return on your time and maximize the return on your dollar.
Yeah, it's funny. One of my greatest light bulb moments getting my econ degree was really this thing called an opportunity cost. Because I don't know about you, but I never really thought about it. Frankly, never understood it. Right? The opportunity cost, kind of a simple example, is, if you choose to do A, you can't do B. Right? It's mutually exclusive. And I think a lot of people talk about opportunity cost of money. If I buy asset A, I can't buy asset B. But I think the most important thing when you're on the journey to becoming a self-made millionaire is not the dollars, it's time.
Yes.
That's the thing that I think you have to understand, is if you choose to spend time doing X, you can't do Y.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I really want people to think about, I put it in my Get Your Money Right course, is to understand how much discretionary income you have a month, right? I'm not talking how much you make. I'm talking how much is at the bottom line that you could essentially light on fire and nothing in your life changes. Once you understand the number, and let's just say it's $1,000. Again, do the math, folks. This is important stuff. Go figure out your monthly discretionary income. Then divide that number by the amount of hours you work, right? Let's say it's, 40, 80, so 160 hours a month, just for grins. Right? Let's do the math on that. So 1,000 hours or $1,000 is what you have left over. Where's my calculator? This is really important. Sorry, I'm doing this on the fly. Divided by 160. So that's $6.25 an hour. Every hour you work, folks, you have $6.25 that you could light on fire and do something else. Now, why is this important? Because I want you to think in time. Let's say your kid wants $1,000 PlayStation or Xbox or whatever the heck the latest video game thing is. Check this out. If it's $1,000 and you have $6.25 an hour, that's 100. You have to work a month. You have to sell a month of your life to buy that freaking Xbox.
Yeah.
If it's worth it to you, if you can literally look at that thing and say, I'm willing to give up a month of my life to buy this thing, then go nuts, buy it. I'm not here to judge you. Go crazy.
And then
But
what else could you have bought with that money?
yeah, and if
And then
it's
how
not
could you have maximized that? How can you make more per hour? How can you
this,
have more
yes,
per hour left by spending less, right? So yes, all those things are so important. And not that I agree with Dave Ramsey on everything. I do for the masses that are
me
living
too.
check to check, right?
Yep.
Not for once you've got a lot that you can invest. But one of the things that he said that really stuck with me, and it still does today, is you got to live like no one else today so that you can live like no one else tomorrow. And what that means is that opportunity cost. If you live like everybody else and you have no discretionary income and you blow all the extra on things like an Xbox and you go out with your friends and you go blow and you spend mindless time on the internet and watching Netflix, you have no time left. So you're choosing not to invest in yourself with your time or your money. But if you can live below your means with both your money and your time, and use that extra money and that extra time to invest in yourself in the future and in becoming rich and in making more money, then in the future, you will live like no one else does that's living check to check because you made that investment and you thought about that opportunity cost from the time you were very young and you made different decisions than everybody else so that you could dedicate the time and the money to growing your wealth and your income.
Yeah, I would not be a self-made millionaire today if I didn't understand that equation. And
Yes.
again, what did that mean for Olivia and I? First off, it meant that we started looking at our expenses because the easiest and fastest way to increase disposable income is to cut out expenses. Then
Yes.
number two, we looked at ways to increase revenue. I was a sales guy, so I worked harder and got more commission.
Mhm.
And then we just bought assets and just
Yeah.
kept doing that for a decade. All right, so here's number four from the Financial Samurai, and after this one, we will start with Anna giving us number five. But according to him, number four is an unwavering belief that they deserve to be rich.
Mm.
I don't know about that one, but maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. What do you think?
I'm going to disagree with that a little bit. And, I will say this, there's a lot of people, whether you're in the church or whether you're not in the church, right, that will say, God wants you to be wealthy, and the reality is when I look back and my faith, definitely informs what I say about this. When I look back, it's like, Jesus's followers were poor. They were called to give up everything to follow him. And they didn't all live rosy lives and wealthy lives because wealth is something beyond just money, right? Some God blessed with a lot of wealth. And he said, if I bless you with it, you have a responsibility to bless others with it and to do good with it in society. But there were many that, there's also, it says, there will always be the poor among you. And if you're lazy, you won't have wealth and you'll lose it all. And if you're wealthy and you get haughty and you blow it or you get lazy, you'll lose it all. So there's a formula for actually in the Bible. If you want to grow wealthy, then you need to do these things. You need to work hard. You need to be disciplined. You need to have a plan for your money. Consider the cost, the opportunity cost, for your time and for your money, and where you put your money is where your focus is. But the poor will always be with us because not everybody is willing to or able to make the sacrifices needed to grow wealthy. So I don't think that it is a birthright that God wants everyone wealthy or that everybody ever will be wealthy. There's a lot of reasons for that. But I do think that everybody has the opportunity to grow wealth, regardless of if you deserve it. Do we deserve wealth? We deserve joy and fulfillment in life. All of us as human beings, as human beings, we deserve respect and kindness and love and joy. But the quality of our life is often based upon our decisions, Michael, right? You and I both know. And so we can be handed the worst cards. I was not handed the worst cards, but I'm blessed to have been grown up in America, but I grew up in poverty. I grew up in Section 8 housing. I didn't have anyone teaching me about wealth, and I was able to create wealth. And so I feel like if I could do it, anybody could. It's a matter of disciplining yourself and saying, what choices do the poor make that I don't want to make? What choices do the wealthy make that I do want to make? And then believing that I deserve happiness and a life of purpose. So having that core belief that we're valuable as human beings and we deserve the best in life. And then having enough confidence in ourselves to say, I can work toward this and I deserve to have the fruit of my labor, poured upon me. So it's like you reap what you sow, right? So
Yeah.
Yes, it takes a mindset of belief. It takes a mindset of determination that I'm going to change the cards I've been dealt,
Yep.
and I'm going to make better decisions to change my family tree, to change my financial future. So that part I agree. But does everyone deserve to be wealthy, Michael? No. If you're lazy and you're not going to work hard and you're going to blow all your money, you don't deserve to be wealthy.
Yeah.
You deserve the consequences of your actions when it comes to money and the investment of your time and how you use it. And so I think, we're rewarded for our diligence and our hard work, or we're harmed financially by our lack of diligence and hard work.
Yeah. This is the one that really rubbed me. It almost rubbed me the wrong way. Because again, when I look at my case, I did not have an unwavering belief. I didn't even know it was possible. Right.
Yeah.
I had no context that becoming rich or wealthy was possible.
Yeah.
I had nobody in my network,
Mm,
family that was. So I didn't
right.
have a belief. This was, I now consider it a weakness, but I guess at the time it was a strength. I was laser focused on being 1% better the next day.
Yes.
I could not, I don't know if I did not, could not, didn't have content. I never thought out a decade or,
Yeah.
and what would happen. I was like, no, I'm just going to keep working, get a little bit better today, a little bit better tomorrow. That's as, I don't know, I guess as far as my mind would think. And then I don't know about this part, deserve to be rich. That's like, I don't know who gets to say deserve. So I didn't like it.
Right.
Certainly didn't like the phrasing of number 4, but hey,
Right.
those were
Right.
his. Now we get to the fun stuff. You and I get to rattle off 3 each for a total of 10 get rich habits. What do you got for number 1 for self-made millionaires?
So for number one, it kind of takes a couple of his that he said, but it is my get rich formula. And so I'm going to repeat the importance of this. If you just save, it's not enough. If you just live below your means, it's not enough. You have to learn at all times, no matter where you are in your life, you learn to live below your means while you at the same time work to expand your means. If you don't do them both together, one or the other is going to not work. So like you, and how did I get started is we did Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. We learned to live below our means and have discretionary income. Then it was invest it. Then it was invest it more and more and more. And even after we became millionaires, we still lived below our means. I still live below our means. And I don't want to buy anything. I count the opportunity cost that doesn't pay for itself unless that's my bucket of money that, hey, this is just go out and enjoy it money because I can, because all my other good practices led to a place where we have a lot more discretionary. So number one, you must live below your means. Don't listen to the people that say you'll never get rich by cutting your expenses. Yes, you will if you do it while you also expand your means by investing the difference at all times, at all parts in your life.
Yeah, number 1 for me is kind of in his first one, but it would be a step 0, is you have to focus on the right thing. In the beginning, to me, the right thing is disposable income. That's where this whole self-made millionaire starts, is the ability to consistently create and ideally grow disposable or discretionary income.
Yeah.
Until you have those seeds, you can't plant anything to get wealthy. So
Yes.
I really do think, like, a lot of people are like, I want to get wealthy, and they're spending everything they make, and they don't get it. Until you
Yeah.
have seeds that can be planted and watered and fertilized and watched grow over the years, you can't play the game. You're not even in the game. You're like in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So the first
Absolutely.
get rich habit for me for self-made millionaires is laser focus on creating and growing discretionary income. That's my number 1.
Yeah, I love it. I would say my next one is going to be, who you surround yourself with is really important. Focus on your network. I didn't always have a network. And, a lot of people will say your network is your net worth. In the beginning,
Yes.
I don't think that's necessarily true. My husband and I built our wealth without a network. We didn't know other investors. We didn't know other people. We didn't know what we didn't know. But what I tell my clients now and all the young people I pour into is the first thing you need to do is evaluate who are you hanging out with? What are their habits? Are they sucking you into those same things? And do you have some people in your network that you can look up to that you can learn from, right? So your network might be being in one of our masterminds. You and I both have groups. So are you surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded, that are going to encourage you when you have those speed bumps and those hard times, and when you pour yourself and your time and your money to an investment that doesn't work out? Are you going to keep going? So surround yourself with like-minded people that are going to grow and strengthen and challenge you, and also people who have what you don't have, where you can collaborate and create win-win situations. Because in the beginning, I grew pretty slowly because we didn't really realize, oh, there's other people that might want to lend to us as private lenders. There's other people that might want to partner with us, and we can take their money and our time and our skills and grow something greater. So we were a lone ranger for a long time. And when we started saying, hey, let's find other people and leverage what they have and leverage what I have to create win-wins, that's when we started to really grow wealth more quickly. And so utilize other people, their resources, whether that's time, talents, or money, and figure out how you can grow together. And when you grow together with other people, they want to pour into you and invest in you. That builds confidence, and it just, those relationships over time are really going to come in handy when you can't do it on your own.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. I think it was Jim Ingersoll was the first person I heard say that, right? Your network is your net worth. I'm sure others have, but he was the first person I heard say it. And yeah, we didn't really grow until I stopped trying to be a lone wolf or a lone ranger. And it is everything. Number two, I'm going to build on something Brad Lee said. I actually shared this on the Daily Financial News yesterday. He said, and I quote, "The greatest prison has no bars. It's just a paycheck, a routine, and weekends off." Now, what do I mean by that? Why do I bring that up? I think a lot of people today kind of poo-poo the W-2, the day job. They kind of sell up the idea that you have to be an entrepreneur. But I think that is just social media nonsense. I believe what Bradley points out is actually the key. I think you have to look at your job. I certainly did once I got serious on becoming a self-made millionaire as the key to my financial future. You can either look at your job as a prison or a key.
Yeah.
Right? If you're out there and you look at your job and you hate it and you're always negative and yada, 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 you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to get the promotions. You're not going to do this. You're not going to get that. I looked at my job as the key to my vision, because I wasn't going to be an entrepreneur. I'm not a, I'm not a sports guy. I had no other way to make money. Being an entrepreneur to me was not even a thought, right? I thought running your own business is crazy. But hey, I'm willing to sell my time to this software company and that software company and this software company. So again, folks, I would tell you to if you have any negative thoughts about your job, dump them. Look at it as a key that you can use that key for a decade. You can, earn more income. You could save money. You can change employers. And without my day job, I wouldn't be here today. So again, it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a prison. It can be a key.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's really, really good. I think to kind of piggyback on that, in order to really create wealth that's sustainable, and that's an important part. We're not talking about get rich quick, right? We're giving you methodical things that you need to do, that if you do them consistently over probably a decade at least for most people, and continue to do them, it's a sure probability that you're going to create wealth. But I think one of the really important things is to really create your life plan by design, not someone else's plan, not their path, but what is it that you can do that you will love, that takes into, there's this concept that I heard from a friend of mine. He's from Japan, and it's a Japanese concept called ikigai. And it's basically their path to creating a life of purpose. But what it is it says, if you can find what you're really good at, your skills, combine that with your passions, what you love to do, then you look at what the world needs and then what the world will pay you to give them. And the intersection of what the world needs that they'll pay you to do and what your skills are, or the skills that you can gain are, combined with your passions, create this sustainable money-making activity that you'll actually enjoy doing. The discipline that it's needed to plan what you want requires not just determination and discipline, because you could be miserable pursuing the wrong path to wealth, burn yourself out, hate what you do, not find fulfillment in it. But if you can find, what am I good at and passionate about, or what could I get good at that I could get paid to grow, and you work in that either as a career, or you're good at your job, you're paid to do it, maybe you don't love it, then you add the side business like buying real estate, right? Whether you're operating it or doing it passive, or if it's for you, it's being a YouTube star and making money with sponsorships. If that's the way you make money, great. But find your path that's sustainable and say, let's create a plan. This is what I think I could do to make money and enjoy it for the long term. Then it makes it so much easier to continue to invest your time and money. And it doesn't feel like I'm sacrificing so much today to build it into tomorrow. And then you've got to then take that plan and just execute it. But make sure you're taking time thinking about, until I become rich from a financial standpoint, am I living a rich life today? Am I doing something that I love? Am I spending time with the people that I love, doing activities that are fun and that I love? And there's a book, I've thrown it out on this show before, that I recommend. It's called Life in Air. And it's like, how can I be a millionaire at life, even if I'm not a millionaire financially? How can I live like a millionaire today, like renting the boat for the weekend instead of going and buying a boat that's going to take you 5 years of your life to pay for, right? There's things that you can do to create a really wealthy life. And I suggest that you really think about planning that from the beginning. I didn't think about that real strong in the beginning. I mean, we all want a great life. We want to, for us, get married, have kids, do well. And most American people, that is the American dream, but they kind of lose sight of the vision because they don't have a plan. And for not having vision, people perish, right? So we have to create a vision for the life we want, and then figure out how to do it and how to make money along the way. And I think that that's really important.
Yeah, I love that. Was that your number 3, or was that just
Yes.
building on mine?
Oh, that was number 3.
Awesome. Yeah. So my third, and what will ultimately be the 10th, is I believe the more and more I talk to self-made millionaires, I think life is seasons, right? The season of focus and discipline and, sacrifice and whatever you want to call that, it's just a season. I think getting wealthy is a 10-year journey for most people.
Yeah.
But when you look at a life that's 100 years, 105, whatever you think your life will be, it's nothing. And I'm talking to more and more people. I just interviewed a young lady, Mindy, who retired at 37 with 10 rentals. Again, it's possible to do this thing one rental at a time. You don't have to have hundreds or thousands. Like, social media really celebrates the wrong thing. And frankly, most of those people are in trouble today, right? The people that have syndications who overpaid and bad debt and, all of that stuff. You can do it on your own. You can do it with 10 rentals. Casey did it with 9. It's just a season. And if you look at it that way, hopefully that gives you comfort, because we all know seasons come and go.
Yes.
And it's the season's worth it. And oh, by the way, the sooner you do it, the more you'll enjoy, right? I started my season at 30.
Yeah.
Cody, a young man who I interview on Monday, started his season at 18, right?
Yeah.
He's now 23 and a multimillionaire. By the time he's 30, he'll dwarf me, right? It's just how this game works. So if you can appreciate that this is just a season of life, we all go through it. And I just hope that gives you comfort and peace of mind. That's my last one.
I love that. And I think about that often. I retired at 44, and I really started focusing on growing wealth at 28. So it took me, a while longer than I thought it would. But we did different things, right? We started a business, then we dabbled in real estate, and then we got more serious about it. And so it's going to take you time to figure it out. But those years of grinding and 70, 80-hour work weeks were so grueling, but they paid off, and they're so worth it. And now we're living this season of, abundance without having to trade our time for dollars. And so it's worth it. And I think, along those lines, we have to choose our hard. Like, life is hard. working is hard. Working to grow your own wealth and your own businesses, investments, they're hard, right? So you're going to have seasons, anyone that's going to grow wealthy, unless you happen to be the 1 in a billion that strikes the lottery, right? You're going to have to choose your heart and work hard, and then you will reap what you sow. And so, sow in the beginning and you will reap a harvest in the end. But I love this. I think, everybody can grow wealth and become wealthy if you figure out the tools and you invest your time for that season, for sure.
Absolutely. This is an amazing conversation. Again, the 10 get rich lessons or whatnot, habits of self-made millionaires. Anna, where can people find you?
You can find me on your show. You can find me on social media at Anna Kelly, REI Mom. And for real estate and wealth coaching and consulting, you can find me at AnnaKellyInvesting.com.
Thank you so much.